In today's video, we're going to walk you through what the Google Ads certification is, how it works, and if it's truly worth getting or not. And just so you know what the Google Ads certification is, it, as Google defines themselves, just demonstrates proficiency in Google Ads and recognizes you as an expert in online advertising. Now, I wouldn't fully agree that you'd be considered an expert in running Google Ads by having the cert, but to get the certification, you would need to go through the video modules and then pass the exam at the end with a score of 80% or greater. And as far as I'm aware as well, the certification only lasts for 1 year. And if you want to remain certified, that you need to take the exam again to do so. But in that definition as a whole, I would agree with the first part saying that, it will demonstrate proficiency in Google Ads, but not so much that it would recognize you as an expert. And we're just going to walk you through why I believe that to be the case. Now, when you do look at what's involved in the certification, I would recommend doing so, especially if you're brand new to Google Ads and don't know how to navigate the platform as a whole, because it does teach you the basics of creating, managing, and optimizing campaigns in Google Ads. But I would say it teaches you more so the fundamentals of all of these aspects like keyword research, ad creation, bidding strategies, and campaign optimization. But it is definitely a good place to start if you do not know how to run Google Ads already and if you haven't been doing so on real accounts. And it is also good in terms of being completely free to take. So you get all of these video modules to watch for free and get the certification for free. And it's definitely beginner friendly as well for those that never actually touched Google Ads as well. And as far as I remember, there's different certifications for the different campaign types. So you'd naturally want to start with search ads, which is the main type of campaign to run in Google Ads, especially if you're just getting started. And then you'd naturally branch out to the other campaign types. So what you would do when completing the Google Ads certification is that you would watch all of the video modules inside the program and then take the quiz at the end. And once you achieve a score of 80 or more out of 100, you'll pass the exam and you'll get your Google Ads certification. And now, as I mentioned, if you're new to Google Ads, I would 100% recommend taking it because there's no harm in learning all the basics and fundamentals. But what I would say about it is, as I mentioned, it does just cover the fundamentals of running Google Ads, and there isn't any replacement for having real life experience running Google Ads campaigns because it doesn't prepare you for all of the different situations that you'll encounter while running Google Ads. Because while the course is really good for teaching you a lot of theory, there's a lot of things that can still go wrong when running Google Ads. And the more experience you get managing your own account or accounts overall, the better you will get at running Google Ads, in my opinion. So there isn't any real substitute for running Google Ads and setting up campaigns yourself and making adjustments based on the data that you see in real time. Because when I first started running Google Ads, I consumed all the knowledge I could get my hands on. But in my opinion, most of the knowledge really came from running actual campaigns because there's only so much preparation that theory can do for you. Because even though you can follow a lot of the steps you might learn in these courses, for example, going through the few initial new campaign creation steps, where you follow all the correct fundamentals when it comes to setting up your settings and so on, a lot of those things can be copied. But a lot of other things, then, for example, when it comes to adding your keywords and learning about the different match types inside Google Ads, you're really not going to know how well different match types, for example, are going to perform until you really see the actual search terms that you appear for those keywords to know, for example, which match types are going to perform best for you. Because seeing examples of the different search terms you could appear for inside courses and so on will give you an idea of the difference between, for example, the match types. But I found the more you actually do this in real campaigns, the better your understanding will get over time. And the same thing applies to aspects, for example, conversion tracking, making sure that your phone calls and form submissions are being tracked accurately, and also things like landing page design and optimization to keep improving your conversion rates over time because there's only so much fundamentals you can follow. But until you actually get data on these things, it's only then you realize what actually works well and what doesn't. And we're not going to touch on all the different aspects of campaign setup and optimization inside this video, but there's so many specific scenarios where when it comes to things like your bidding, that it's impossible to just look at the fundamentals and know what the best action is to take. You need to have experience managing campaigns to really know what the best bidding strategy, for example, is depending on your exact scenario. And that's the main point behind it, is that if you're not aware of the fundamentals when it comes to running Google Ads already, then I highly recommend doing the certification. But if you already have learned all the basics and fundamentals and how to run Google Ads campaigns, then the vast majority of the knowledge you're really going to gain inside Google Ads is going to be from managing campaigns in real time, and most likely making a lot of mistakes earlier on, especially in the beginning stages, but learning from those, but continuously improving your skill overall in managing Google Ads the more you adjust and continuously improve your campaigns over time. So I hope this video helped and gave you some clarity as to whether or not the Google Ads certification will help you out depending on your own current scenario. And overall, if you are new to Google Ads, then I'd highly recommend taking it because it will give you a good understanding of all the fundamentals you need to know. But if you're more experienced in running Google Ads, in my opinion, I've always noticed the more that you actually manage campaigns and make real life adjustments based on what you see inside campaigns in real time, the more you really get to learn about how Google Ads works and continuously improve over time.